What's going on, everybody? My name is Duncan Sly, and I'm the editor-in-chief of the George-Anne Inkwell print edition, and I conducted the interview you're about to see with Professor Raymond Gaddy. Now, before we begin, I just wanted to thank Professor Gaddy for choosing to be a part of it, and I want to let you know that this is our first time doing this kind of interview. We're looking to do more of these types in the future, but hope you enjoy this one. It's our first time doing it, like I said, so there might be little stumbling blocks in the way. We're learning as we go. If you would like to be a part of this, if you want to be interviewed, or if you want to help us out, head on over to the George-Anne Inkwell's website. It's thegeorgianne.com/inkwell. And you can find more information to get in contact with us. You can feel free to shoot me an email, and we'd love to for you to be a part of our team. Or if you'd like to get some exposure from us, let us know. That's all for me. I hope you guys enjoy. So would you mind introducing yourself just for the folks at home who might be watching or listening?
Sure. I'm Raymond Gaddy. I'm an assistant professor of painting and drawing here at the Armstrong campus. And I also have the pleasure of running the Armstrong Gallery of Art.
And how did you find yourself here at Armstrong at the Armstrong campus? What was your kind of career path that led you to this place?
Well, I've been in the arts since I was in undergrad. I actually started off in the sciences. I kind of switched in college, and then got my BFA from the University of Alabama, Birmingham. Moved and got my MFA from the University of Alabama, and then taught at a couple of places. Ended up in Savannah because of SCAD, and then taught in Florida for a couple of years, and ultimately ended up here.
Did you teach at SCAD?
I did.
What capacity did you teach there?
I taught the foundations classes, which are the introduction to the arts. They tend to be an introduction to drawing and 2D design, color theory, those sorts of classes.
That's interesting. I actually went to SCAD very briefly. When I graduated from high school, I wanted to be an actor, and so I went there for the performing arts program. I had difficulty there. I had to wake up at 8 a.m. to take drawing classes, which apparently they've changed since I've left. Now I don't think performing arts students necessarily have to do that anymore. What do you think SCAD has done to the city of Savannah in terms of bringing the arts to the South, I should say?
Oh wow, they've done an incredible amount. When I first moved here was actually 2001, so it's almost 20 years now, and I guess it has been 20 years. And even then, the arts felt a little thin around here, from my perspective. I'd come from a very active community. And just in that 20 years, I've seen things just explode. We've got galleries everywhere. The film festival is huge, which brings in all sorts of people. They've opened up the museum since then. And just having a body of former students, alumni, some that maybe didn't graduate, and just hung around into the community have kept things really active. I think Sulphur Studios has kind of started out of that community. And I own a comic book store downtown, and we have a lot of SCAD alumni and sequential majors who are really active in the community around here too.
Which comic book store?
Neighborhood Comics.
Yeah, I know Neighborhood. I'm there all the time. That's
really?
Great. Yeah. That's awesome. I have more to talk to you about that after we're done. Okay. Do you think there's been this back and forth between the Armstrong and SCAD? Like, do you think those two campuses have benefited each other in terms of the arts and exposure to the arts?
I do. I know just having the active community downtown gives our students that many more places to go and participate in. A lot of our students have gone on then to be part of the organizations that kind of grew out of the downtown community. Sulphur is a good example of that. We have several students and faculty members who are active there. So there's been a lot of give and take in between there.
And so how do you... And so moving on to this exhibit itself, what do you love about these exhibits? Is there anything you see that ties them together, or is there something that makes them all unique? What is it that draws you to the current works that we're looking at today?
So this is one of our senior exhibitions. We have 3 exhibitions every year that are geared towards our graduating seniors. And this is the second one. We just finished one a few weeks ago, and this one filled in, and then there's one in the spring as well. These are honestly my favorite ones because everybody's really excited. they're on their way out. This is their kind of culminating thesis exhibition, so there's a lot of moving parts that go with that. They have all of these requirements they have to fulfill to get into the space and get these exhibitions done. But then there's just the excitement behind it and the fun that goes along with it. So it's really great from the professor aspect, because I really get to see the students bring their 4 years of hard work all together, and they're putting together statements and finishing their work, of course, and doing talks, because that's one of our requirements, is they have to speak about their work. But then just on a personal level, I've gotten to know these students over 4 years, and it's just really exciting to see them finishing one thing and getting ready for the next phase of their lives.
And I've noticed that there's a variety of different types of art here, not just painting, but there's also 3D art, which we've seen, sculpting, and then photography. Is that something that you are actively encouraging for students to branch out, or does it just kind of happen to be that way?
Oh no, our program is oriented in such a way that students kind of get to pick their path. So some students lean towards two-dimensional work, painting, drawing, that sort of thing. We have an active fibers program, so we have students who veer that way. Three-dimensionally, we've got a really dynamic ceramics program and a growing 3D program. So students just lead that way, and then of course photography is always a popular medium. Again, we have a good active group here. So it really is up to the students. Now when it comes to the exhibitions, the students themselves get to pick who they exhibit with out of the graduating group.
Oh, I see.
So it's often kind of interesting to see how they pick each other to work together. Sometimes it's friend groups, sometimes it's like this exhibition, there's a kind of a consistent theme through the work. Sometimes it's just the last exhibition that we had that was seniors, they were all students who worked digitally. So we kind of played off of that running narrative.
Interesting. And so how do you feel about the status of the arts on the Armstrong campus? I mean, there seem to be some factors that are affecting them either positively or negatively, including consolidation, which is still recently in all of our minds. And then COVID obviously has, especially in terms of live performances and exhibits such as these, has probably been a little bit of an obstacle. So how do you currently feel about where we're at artistically on this campus and maybe even moving forward?
Well, from the art perspective, the visual art perspective, we were in a really good place prior to COVID. We have several new faculty members coming in, myself included in that group, who are just really active and I think bringing some life to the area that hadn't existed before. And then we've also just had this really great group of students lately. And so I think that was a really good thing. And then COVID just kind of, we're not on campus as much, it kind of feels like. And so it kind of quieted things a little bit. But all those people are still there. The intent and the desire to bring all of the arts back actively on campus, I think, is still there. So moving forward, I see us just moving back into where we were right before COVID happened and growing from there. I know several of the faculty and I have talked about just some programs that we want to institute to keep students on campus and the ones that are already here active all the time and in the building, because that to me is when there's a lot of people in here, things feel really good. There's a lot of energy in this building when between the music, theater, and the visual arts. It's just really active and it feels happy and it feels exciting. So I think we want to get back to that. People in the building, people in the rooms, make them work.
Great. Well, unless there's anything you'd like to plug, anything you'd like to add, I think that just about covers it from my questions.
I want to encourage everybody to come to the gallery. We rotate exhibitions about every month. This one ends this week, but we start a new slate in the spring, right at the beginning of the term. We've got a really exciting visiting artist coming in for January. Her name's Stacy Eisenberger. She's Eisenbarger, excuse me, a professor from the University of Idaho, does beautiful sculptures. And then we have the High School Congressional, which is always a fun exhibition. It's high school students who are chosen to, or juried into an exhibition, and the winner from that exhibition gets to have their work exhibited in the Capitol building in DC. Then we have the senior exhibition and the student juried annual, which is our annual competition amongst all the students here. Anybody that's taken an art class on campus or in the program can participate in that.
Great, awesome. Well, I think that just about does it. Thank you so much for your time.
Oh, it's been
really
fun.
appreciate that.
Enjoyed it.
Yeah, great. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.